Good morning, greetings, friends, and welcome to The Bright Side, your nutritional program dedicated to the understanding of the vast world of nutrition and nutritional supplementation. I'm your host, Pharmacist Ben, nutritional pharmacist from Boulder, Colorado. I use nutritional supplements where other healthcare practitioners use toxic pharmaceutical drugs and sometimes deadly medical procedures. If you suspect that there are natural nutritional roads to your health and vitality and well-being, and to addressing your health challenges, whatever they may be, but you don't know where to begin, you have come to the right place. As you listen to The Bright Side every day, you are more and more in control of your body, you are more and more knowledgeable, and you know you can overcome any health challenge. That is why we are here every day on The Bright Side, helping clear up the sometimes confusing world of nutrition and nutritional supplementation. Over the last 32 years of practicing pharmacy, I have seen drug-free recoveries from diabetes, hypertension, obesity, skin diseases like psoriasis, eczema, rosacea, acne, digestive ailments, autoimmune issues of all kinds. Recoveries that by the standards of modern medicine can only be called a miracle, but what is in the world of the body, what is in the world of biology, standard operating procedure. Because the human biological system is a healing system. It's a regenerating system. It is designed divinely to heal and renew itself on a moment-to-moment basis. And while some folks may call that a miracle, it really is just the way the body works. If you have questions about health, nutrition, prescription drugs, if you want to wean yourself off your meds and get on a good nutritional supplement program, questions about our longevity products, our true skin health products, a health challenge that you'd like help addressing, if you want to wean yourself off your meds and get on a good nutritional supplement program, we are your go-to resource for all things health, nutrition, skincare, ingredients. Or if you just have a comment or success story you'd like to share, 844-236-6010 is our number on The Bright Side, 844-236-6010. If you'd like to purchase any of the longevity products you hear advertised or recommended on The Bright Side, please call 866-735-2470 or click or head to brightsideben.com, pharmacistben.com, or criticalhealthnews.com. You can also click on the Join the Team link on all our websites, brightsideben.com, pharmacistben.com, or criticalhealthnews.com if you want to start a longevity business. If you're an entrepreneur, or if you want to work out of your home office, if you want to be in the health business, if you want to help change lives at the most fundamental level there is, which is the level of good health, or if you just want to get your products at the wholesale price, for a one-time $25 fee, you can join the Brightside Ben team and be a wholesaler. For a one-time $25 fee, call 866-735-2470 or head to brightsideben.com, pharmacistben.com, or criticalhealthnews.com. And don't forget to take a look at our Truth Skin Health products at truthtreatments.com. Got 3 new products coming out in the next maybe week or so. High hyaluronic mineral gel, exfoliator, our energizing exfoliator, and our retinol spot treatment. They'll all be up at truthtreatments.com probably in the next 1 to 2 weeks. All right, welcome back to The Bright Side, friends. We've been talking about the enzymes. We've been talking about the pancreas. Last we spoke, we were talking about pancreatic cancer, a notoriously difficult diagnosis to have to deal with. Pancreatic cancers are very sneaky. They're resilient. They resist chemotherapy. And by the time most people know or have been diagnosed with pancreatic cancer, it is way along. It's really tough to deal with, but not impossible to deal with. This is so important when it comes to understanding cancer. Obviously, the most horrific diagnosis anyone can have is a diagnosis of cancer. But even the most deadly cancer, which is pancreatic cancer, is survivable, number one, and has been known to remit, number two. So doesn't necessarily have to be a death sentence. Pancreatic cancers, as horrific as the diagnosis of pancreatic cancer is, 93% of people don't make it 5 years. That means 7% do. Pancreatic cancer is not uniformly fatal. It's not like everybody who gets it will not make it. So that's something that we want to think about, especially considering the importance of the mind and our belief systems when it comes to our health. So just believing it's possible to remit is chemotherapy. It's a drug. It's a treatment. Just believing that your cancer can remit. That's true about all cancers, of course. But pancreatic cancer has a reputation for being the most deadly of all cancers. And even pancreatic cancer, 93% of people don't make it past 5 years, 7% do. So it doesn't have to be, if you get a diagnosis of pancreatic cancer, it does not have to be a death sentence. It's true that it's the worst of all the cancers. Only 1/5 of Americans who are diagnosed with pancreatic cancer, only 20% of those diagnosed are going to survive for 1 year. It's the 4th leading cause of death, of cancer death in the country. As I say, 7%, only 7% after 5 years. But that's still 7%. That's 7 out of 100 people. And there's 55,000 people who get diagnosed every year. 55,000 people get diagnosed, and then 44,000 or so will die from it. And by 2020, it's expected to be the 2nd leading cause of cancer-related deaths. And if you understand this whole thing about enzymes and the role that pancreas plays in enzyme health and our depletion of enzymes and the notion that when an organ is depleted of the chemicals it needs, or when it's working harder, I should say, than ordinarily so. Pancreas is now, based on how we live our lives and based on how we eat, our pancreas, our modern 21st century pancreases, collective pancreases, are working much harder than caveman pancreases, largely because of enzyme deficient foods, not to mention all the other burdens on the body. The most important symptoms when it comes to pancreatic cancer are weight loss, abdominal pain, nausea, vomiting, sometimes jaundice. There's a relationship between the pancreas and the liver. In fact, pancreatic cancer is usually, deaths from pancreatic cancer are usually attributed to problems to liver cancer. That's the main place where pancreatic cancer will spread. Back pain is also a common complaint. Unexplained back pain. The pancreas is located kind of in the back area, the lower back area. So sometimes people will get back pain. In fact, that's one of the ways they diagnose pancreatic cancer. People check into the emergency room for some unexplained back pain. Not that all unexplained back pain is related to the pancreas, of course, but if that occurs, that's one of the things that they're going to think about. They're going to think about checking is the pancreas. The main treatment for pancreatic cancer is chemotherapy. It rarely works, but it has been known to work. Sometimes they'll use these biologic drugs, these newfangled drugs that you see advertised a lot, the UMAB drugs that are all over the television and media and print. They're the latest advance in medication are these so-called biologic drugs. These biologic drugs are really kind of interesting. They're very expensive, tremendously expensive. They target specific chemicals of the body. That's why they call them biologics, because they target biology. Remember, in order for chemistry to occur, in order for biology to occur, chemicals have to be secreted. So if you have, for example, cancer, the cancer tumor requires chemicals to grow. If you have an autoimmune disease like psoriasis, the autoimmune disease requires chemicals to do its immune work. So the plaques that arise from psoriasis are based on chemicals. If you take blood clotting, in order for the blood to clot, there's chemicals that are required to be secreted, biological chemicals, biochemicals. These new drugs, these biologics, target those biochemicals that are responsible for clotting, responsible for the plaques that cause psoriasis, responsible for the tumors. They figured out how to specifically create drugs, or how to create drugs that specifically attack chemicals that are involved in the chemistry of plaque formation, the chemistry of clotting, the chemistry of immunity, the chemistry of cancer. And by targeting these chemicals, they stop the plaques, or they stop the clot from forming, or they stop the cancer. These are called biologics. They don't solve the problem, keep in mind. They just interfere with the chemistry of the plaque formation or the chemistry of the clot formation. You still got the problem that's causing the issue, that's causing the plaques to form, that's causing clots. You haven't done anything about that, but you've targeted the body's response to it. So it's just another type of drug. It's a little bit more high tech, but it's just more pharmacotherapy, and it doesn't solve the problem. And it's associated with toxicity, as all drugs are. Nonetheless, they are incredibly pricey, They will offer you some symptomatic relief, but like all drugs, they're not going to take care of the problem. These biologic drugs, which we'll continue talking about here when we come back from our break. I'm Pharmacist Ben. You're listening to The Bright Side. Got lots of lines open at 844-236-6010. We'll be back after this. Are back on The Bright Side. I'm Pharmacist Ben. Thanks for listening. We're on the air Monday through Friday, 8 to 9 Pacific and 10 to 11 Central Time, 24/7 on our archive page at brightsideben.com. And you'll get videos and news stories, blog posts at brightsideben.com, also pharmacistben.com and criticalhealthnews.com. You can purchase longevity products off the websites or sign up to join the Brightside Ben team off the websites as well for a one-time $25 fee. You could start a longevity business and help spread the word about the power and importance of a good nutritional supplement program and change lives, help people get off their drugs, help people lower their blood pressure, lose weight, just feel better. I've been doing this now for 20 years. Started working with Dr. Wallach in longevity over 20 years, 1998. And consistently, over the last 20 years, consistently, over and over and over and over again, I have seen the most incredible health results. People losing 100 pounds, people losing 150 pounds, people getting off all their meds, people changing their diagnoses, most incredible results, just people feeling better. I wouldn't be doing this. I wouldn't be talking about this every single day. I wouldn't be putting my name behind these products if I hadn't seen with my own eyes the kind of results I've seen. I couldn't live with myself if I didn't tell you about the Beyond Tangy Tangerine, how important it is, how important the Mighty 90 is. And if you're interested in being in business, if you're an entrepreneur, this is the kind of business you want to be in. You're helping people. You're changing lives. You're making a difference at the most fundamental level there is for a human being to exist on, and that's the level of health. The most fundamental aspect of being alive is the level of health. Nothing else matters if you're not healthy. Nothing. Ask anybody who's got Crohn's disease or ulcerative colitis. Ask anybody who's been relatively healthy and then all of a sudden got an autoimmune disease. Nothing is more important than how well we feel and than the health of this amazing, miraculous thing we call the human body. Longevity is all about improving that, period. Yes, there's money to be made. It's a business. Yes, you have to work. But at the end of the day, what it's all about is helping people feel better. Call 866-735-2470 for more info, or click on the Join the Team link at brightsideben.com, pharmacistben.com, or criticalhealthnews.com. Got lines open for you today, 844-236-6010. We'll get your calls in our next segment. We're talking about enzymes in the pancreas. Before we went to break, we're talking about the biologics. Biologic drugs are, actually, technically speaking, we're talking about not the biologic drugs include things like Lantus, which is an insulin, or Botox, which everybody knows about for wrinkles, also now being used for migraine headaches. Those are biologics, but there's a specific kind of biologics which tend to end with the letter UMAB or just MAB, M-A-B. And these are specific drugs. They're antibodies. Antibodies means against bodies, antibody. And when we think of antibodies, or most people think of antibodies, you think of the immune system, because the immune system makes antibodies. That's how we fight germs. That's how we fight viruses. The immune system makes antiviruses, antibodies, antibacterials, antibodies. And just like the immune system, our bodies make these antibodies, antibacterials, antivirals, antifungals. They can be created in the lab. Antibodies can now be created in the laboratory through genetic technology. And now they have these antibodies that, instead of attacking bacteria and instead of attacking viruses, these antibodies will attack chemicals of inflammation, chemicals of plaque formation, chemicals of immunity. You say, why would we want to create an antibody that attacks a chemical of inflammation? Well, if you have psoriasis or Crohn's disease or any kind of autoimmune problem or inflammatory disease, by attacking these chemicals that are responsible for the inflammation or that are responsible for the plaques, or responsible for whatever the symptoms of your particular disease is, or attack chemicals that are responsible for clotting the blood, you can reduce clotting, you can reduce plaques. And that's these high-tech drugs they go by names like Humira or Enbrel You see them advertised all the time now. Avastin, Lucentis. They got them for all kinds of things. They're using them for all kinds of things because by attacking these chemicals, you can reduce all kinds of different symptoms. And these drugs are incredibly, incredibly expensive. The problem with these drugs is, like all drugs, they don't take care of the problem. Why is your immune system going crazy? Yes, you can shut down the immune system with a steroid drug or with a high-tech biologic that just attacks a specific chemical of immunity, but why? Let's figure out why the immune system is freaking out. To me, it makes absolutely no sense, except perhaps for symptomatic relief temporarily. Yes, if you have the plaques of psoriasis, maybe use your Umbrella or your Humira or whatever you're using for the plaques, but at least then while you're taking the drug, which is costing somebody, if not you, it's costing your insurance company or the taxpayer thousands upon thousands of dollars a year. Let's figure out why is the immune system going nuts, and you'll always find that the body is being attacked somehow. And of course, if you've listened to this program for any length of time, you know that number one attack comes in from food through what's called a leaky gut. Leaky gut is behind everything. You don't need to be checked for leaky gut, by the way, any more than you need to be checked for hypothyroidism. If you're sick, you've got a leaky gut problem. If you have a chronic degenerative disease of any kind, that is a health challenge that's not going away, you got a leaky gut problem. Assume it. You don't need to be tested. Just like if you have any kind of chronic degenerative disease, assume you're hypothyroid. You don't need to test for it. And then just address the leaky gut. Most importantly, by addressing the leaky gut is avoiding foods that cause reactions, that cause problems, foods that cause symptoms to flare up. That's the number one thing to do, is avoid the foods that are the problem. Now, ultimately, you're going to want to use things that help build up the gut lining, collagen peptides, for example, fucoid Z from Longevity, hyaluronic acid, glucosamine, the glucogel caps, bone soup. These are all strategies for building, strengthening the gut lining. Support the health of the intestine, of course, with a good probiotic supplement. And don't forget to use digestive enzymes. Remember, it all starts off with the digestive enzymes. Digestive enzymes are phenomenally, ridiculously important, not just for the health of the digestive system, but for the health of the body. Very underappreciated. We've been talking about the pancreas as a source of digestive enzymes. A second major source of digestive enzymes is your saliva. In fact, just like with the pancreas, when you don't eat foods that contain enzymes, that is, you don't eat raw foods or you're not supplementing with enzymes, you're dealing with some kind of enzyme deficiency or some kind of pancreatic problem, guess what? The salivary glands will over-secrete enzymes. They'll make up for deficiencies. Some animals that eat mostly raw foods don't have any enzymes at all. And then when those animals are put on a cooked food diet, guess what happens? They start making enzymes in their saliva. This is so incredible. The body is responsive to the kind of foods we're eating. So if we're eating enzymeless foods, the pancreas will upregulate its enzymes, its production of enzymes, and the salivary glands will also upregulate its production of enzymes. And you know what else? The salivary glands, like the pancreas, are a site of tumor formation, and salivary gland cancer is a real thing. It's still rare, but no surprise, rates of salivary gland cancer are increasing, which is to be expected if you follow along with Dr. Howe's food enzyme hypothesis. That is, the less food enzymes we get, the harder our own natural enzyme glands have to work. All right.
Hunters, anglers.
Back on the bright side, I'm Pharmacist Ben. 844-236-6010 is our number. If you want to purchase Longevity products, call 866-735-2470 or purchase them off the websites brightsideben.com, pharmacistben.com, or criticalhealthnews.com. And if you'd like to purchase any of our Truth Skin Health products, go to truthtreatments.com. Make sure you take a look at our retinol gels, retinol 5% gel, retinol 1% gel. They make great Christmas gifts. We've got trial sizes and new products coming out here in the next, probably the next week or so. And we also have a skin health blog at truthtreatments.com, truthtreatments.com. Okay, got lines open at 844-236-6010, and we will get your calls here momentarily. From the Journal of Surgical Neurology, omega-3 fatty acids from fish oil act as anti-inflammatory agents, an alternative to non-steroidal anti-inflammatory drugs for what's called discogenic pain. That is chronic, non-specific, general neck and back pain. Extremely common. The neck and back are areas where we hold a lot of stress, a lot of tension in the neck and back, and for that matter, the shoulder areas is held. Relaxing, learning to relax the upper part of the body is so important, especially, by the way, the face. Learning to relax the face can be a great way to help you fall asleep. Notice if you have insomnia problems, you have problems sleeping, notice if you're holding tension in your face or in your neck or in your back, especially your face, though. We tend to hold a lot of tension in our jaws and in our eyes, in our eye sockets. In fact, you can induce relaxing just by relaxing the muscles around the eyes. Yesterday we talked about meditation at the end of the program. I don't know if my friend Nissa is listening. She texted me and said we should talk more about meditation because we ran out of time. And I've had a meditation practice myself for 30 years, since I was in my late 20s. In my late 20s, I said, you know what? I got to learn to meditate. This is important, and it absolutely is. And by the way, it's called a meditation practice for a reason, because meditation requires practice. It's work. It's not easy, which explains why most people don't do it, or why people will do it and then stop doing it. It's work. It takes work to relax, ironically. Now, once you do it, I shouldn't say that. It takes work to enter into the relaxation phase, but once you're in the relaxation phase, it's not work. It's pleasure. It's a vacation. When you get past that first initial stage of work, it's kind of like, maybe think of it like going through a doorway. Once you enter through that doorway, or cross through a membrane, if you will, and you enter into the world of meditation, or the world of the meditative state, the alpha brainwave state, or the theta brainwave state, it is the most relaxing, enjoyable, parasympathetic system activating, blood pressure lowering, immune system supporting, digestive health supporting, thyroid supporting, just pleasant, beautiful experience you can have. This is why people get addicted to meditation. This is why people, once they get going on it, do not want to miss a day. Once people get going with a meditation practice, they do it every day, or if they miss a day or two, they notice it. It's unbelievably valuable, and it starts off with something as simple as relaxing the body. In fact, having the body in a relaxing position is extremely important if you want to try to meditate. One of the biggest problems one of the biggest misunderstandings that causes problems with meditation is you think you need to be in a cross-legged position, or you think it has something to do with religion, or you think it has something to do with Buddhism. I've been listening to this guy, Thomas Keating, who's actually a Catholic priest. Google him or YouTube him. And he's a Catholic priest. He came up with something he calls the centering prayer. And he is no New Age hippy-dippy guy. He's a total religious Catholic priest, Thomas Keating. He wrote a book, I think, called... He wrote a couple books, but one of his books is about what he calls the centering prayer. And the centering prayer is basically a meditation, albeit a spiritual meditation. He talks about bringing God and becoming like God, or becoming friends with Christ is how he says it. But nonetheless, the point is that there's lots of different ways to activate this relaxing alpha brainwave, theta brainwave state that's so important. And it starts off with keeping your body in a relaxed position. You can do it lying down. In fact, it's great to do lying down. The only problem with lying down is you tend to fall asleep once you get it relaxed, but that's not a bad thing either, especially for people who can't sleep. Isn't that cool? The worst thing that happens, if you lie down and practice the meditation technique, the worst thing that will happen is you'll fall asleep. You get a little nap. You'll get a good nap. If you're lucky, you won't fall asleep, and you'll just have the most relaxing, unbelievable mental vacation you can think of. And if you bring God into it, it can be very spiritually powerful as well. Start with your face. And this is true for insomnia also, by the way. If you just want to fall asleep, start with your face. Relax your facial muscles. If you just relax your facial muscles, you will notice a significant relaxing of the entire body. The jaw especially, the front of your face, and the eyeball sockets. You can even relax your ears. You can relax your scalp, the top of your head, once you get going on it. And then you can relax your neck and relax your back. Anyway, from the Journal of Surgical Neurology, omega-3 fatty acids are an alternative to non-steroidal anti-inflammatory drugs. Make no mistake about it. Naproxen and Motrin and even Tylenol, these are drugs. You get them over the counter. That's true. You can get them in the drugstore. That's true. But that doesn't mean they're not drugs, and that doesn't mean they're not toxic. And guess what? Motrin and Naproxen and Tylenol and your general non-steroidal anti-inflammatory drugs that are so readily available are a leading cause of death. They're a leading cause of ulcers. They're a leading cause of gastric bleeding. They're a leading cause of heart disease, heart attacks. They're not safe drugs, even though they're so readily available. But you know what? Omega-3 fatty acids don't have those kinds of toxicities. Reading from the Journal of Surgical Neurology, quote, an alternative treatment with fewer side effects that also reduces the inflammatory response and thereby reduces pain is believed to be omega-3 fatty acids found in fish oil. Conclusions of this article: our results mirror other controlled studies that compared ibuprofen, Motrin, and omega-3 essential fatty acids, demonstrating equivalent effects in reducing arthritic pain. Omega-3 essential fatty acid fish oil supplements appear to be a safer alternative to NSAIDs for treatment of non-surgical back or neck pain in this selective group, unquote. That's from the Journal of Surgical Neurology. One more and then we'll get your phone calls, 844-236-6010. High cost has 1 in 4 diabetics cutting back on insulin. More than 1/4 of people with diabetes have skimped on needed insulin because of the drug's soaring price tag, according to a new study surveying 200 Americans with type 1 or type 2 diabetes. Researchers found that 26% had underused insulin because of cost. Now, this is a very interesting subject, the idea of the cost of drugs. You've got supposedly well-meaning politicians saying we need to reduce the cost of drugs. I say supposedly because it's not well-meaning to reduce the cost of drugs. That just puts more people on drugs. How about reducing the cost of supplements? How about making supplements more readily available? How about making alternative therapies more readily available? How about insurance companies paying for massage? I say this in my talks all the time. Everybody thinks it's funny, but it's not. If we really cared about health in this country, we'd have national hot tub insurance where the government pays for hot tubs. How about they subsidize hot tubs instead of drugs? You lower your blood pressure in a much more non-toxic fashion by sitting in a hot bath or a warm bath or a warm shower. Lowering the price of drugs is not necessarily in our interest. To make you, to imply somehow that your drugs are what you need to stay healthy and we're going to give them to you for free or cheaper is not necessarily a nice thing. Any case, if you got diabetes, there's lots of ways to deal with your diabetes and nothing to do with drugs. So we'll talk about that when we come back from our break and take your phone calls as well. 844.
My doctor.
Okay, we're back on the bright side. Got lots of lines open. 844-236-6010. If you have questions about anything we're speaking about here today, or the longevity products, or our True Skin Health products, or comment or success story you'd like to share, 844-236-6010 is our number on the bright side. I was just reviewing a video that I did with my friend Jonty for Critical Health News on digestive enzymes. Look for that. It should be out hopefully in the next week or so. If you want more good health information via video, go to criticalhealthnews.com. Also, pharmacistben.com and brightsideben.com. Got videos, news stories, blog posts, the longevity products, all at brightsideben.com, pharmacistben.com, and criticalhealthnews.com. Okay, we're talking about, we'll get your calls here in just a quick second. I want to finish up talking about diabetes, which to me is the most tragic of all health challenges in the sense that it's so... once it progresses, it's responsible for everything else. It's responsible for heart disease, a lot of heart disease anyway. It plays a role in autoimmune problems. It plays a role in aging and skin health issues. And it's just so unnecessary. It's a food issue, folks. If you have diabetes, it's not a drug issue. So I'm reading this article here from JAMA, by the way, JAMA Internal Medicine, how the high cost of insulin is keeping people from buying their insulin. They're cutting back. Diabetics are cutting back on their insulin. Well, instead of cutting back on your insulin and worrying about getting increasing complications or increasing the risk of complications, how about we eat less sugar? How about we eat less foods that require insulin? It's not just sugar, by the way. Protein requires insulin. So how about just calorie restriction? How about going ketogenic? This idea of using drugs to take care of our health challenges to the point where we need the government to subsidize our costs, and we have all this hand-wringing about how expensive drugs are, is a red herring, distracting us from the real problem, which is how we take care of ourselves via our lifestyle choices. In the case of diabetes, our food choices. This is so tragic to me because it's so simple to take care of diabetes, because you know what? At the end of the day, nobody has diabetes. That is a linguistic trick. It's a trick of language. In linguists, people who study language call it a semantic ghost. That means it doesn't exist except in words, except in semantics. Diabetes is a semantic dose. There's no such thing. Diabetes-ing, that is the verb of having messed up blood sugar, of having a system that's not processing blood sugar correctly, that's real. But the disease of diabetes implies that you have a disease. You have something that needs to be fixed by a doctor, presumably, or by an authority. It's not true. It is a lie. It's dishonest. It's sneaky. It's manipulative. It's rude. It's anti-humanity for a medical professional to treat diabetes as if it were a drug that can be addressed with, or as if it were a disease that could be addressed with drugs. It's not fair. To prove it, from the British Medical Journal, fasting can reverse type 2 diabetes. Type 2 diabetes is very treatable. It can be reversed with a healthy diet and also by intermittent fasting. Researchers have discovered this week. It's from the British Medical Journal. Fasting for 24 hours intermittently, either every day or either every other day for 3 days straight, or can reverse fasting for 24 hours intermediately, either every other day or for 3 days straight, can reverse the condition and eliminate the need for drug treatment. That's from the British Medical Journal. I'm telling you, folks, don't fall for this ridiculousness of the medical model telling you need drugs or you need insulin analogs or whatever kind of treatment they're using for diabetes. It's a food issue. It's a lifestyle issue. Change the way you live your life. Change the way you eat. Get some exercise. It's all just the stuff we all know we're supposed to do. All right, 844-236-6010 is our number. Let's say good morning to my friend Carl. What's up, Carl, the Truth Raider? How you doing, buddy?
Good morning, Benjamin. I'm really frustrated. Anyway, we're still waiting for the products to come in. They haven't come in quite yet. The CRT.
They're on their way. They're on their way.
Right. My gorgeous little dentist is long gone. She's gone off and completed her residency, and now she probably has her own private practice.
Okay.
So we got this pencil neck geek dentist that I've called you before about my dental dilemmas before in the past.
Okay.
And this guy, he's just a total weenie. He endorses drinking fluoride.
Okay. Is he a young? Just for laughs here. Is he a young doctor or an older doctor?
He's probably right around 30. He refuses to do a simple fill-in for a small, minute chip, on one of my important molar tooth that's on the bottom left-hand side where I do all my chewing. It's just fine. The only problem is it has just a slight spot that has a cavity that he wants to cap it and all that good stuff. That's fine, but I can't afford it at the moment. And not only discomfort I'm having is I'm getting like a little piece of, almonds or something like that gets stuck there, and it irritates the gum right there, and it's sensitive because it gets into that space. But I'm not treating that tooth. No, it has to go up for extraction.
You're going to take the thing out?
No, he wants to do that.
Oh, I see what you're saying. So what are you going to do?
So he says no. So I need to find out, Ben, what do I need? Do you have something that's like a
I wouldn't be messing around with a tooth. Is it painful?
Yeah. No, well, only when I get a little chip, a piece of food, it gets in there, it becomes a little uncomfortable, yeah.
I don't mess around with my teeth, personally speaking, although fluoride is definitely something I avoid. Do you drink tap water? What kind of water do you drink, Carl, the Truth Raider?
Well, I just have my water that I have here. I mainly get water from Starbucks or that's filtered, and it's for free.
So what does he want to give you, the fluoride, the drug? Sodium fluoride?
Well, No, he endorses the fluoride in drinking water generally.
Click on the notification bell so you don't miss
So he
What's that?
endorses
What is that noise there? You got your phone on there, Carl, the Truth Raider?
No, it isn't me doing that.
All right, go ahead. Now, so how can I help you, buddy?
What do you have in your product line that's an alternative to keep the gums healthy?
Connective tissue. Get the collagen. Get my collagen recovery complex.
Okay,
Glucosamine, the glucogel caps for longevity. Digestive enzymes. Digestive enzymes. Don't forget the ultimate enzymes. Keeping inflammation down is really important, and that's where the ultimate enzymes come in. Remember, if you're eating like most of us eat, subsisting on enzymeless food, that's going to deplete the body of its own enzymes. Number one, so you won't be able to absorb your nutrients as effectively, and then secondly, using your ultimate enzymes can help have anti-inflammatory properties. Collagen peptides, gelatin.
Okay. All right.
Make sure if you can, get organic gelatin. Or I don't know, you can get organic gelatin on the internet. Yeah, organic gelatin is one. Organic gelatin is collagen. Gelatin is collagen. So if you're spending money on collagen, folks, and collagen supplements can be really expensive, gelatin is collagen. It's hydrolyzed collagen. So you can use just plain old Knox gelatin, put it in water and drink it. I don't know if Knox makes an organic one. I mean, it's hard to find organic. Don't not use gelatin because it's not organic, but organic is always going to be best. Right. And don't forget, as important as collagen is, and as important as the supplements for building collagen are, vitamin C. You can't make collagen without vitamin C, without plain old humble vitamin C. So using your Beyond Tangy Tangerine, which is a great source of vitamin C. I'm sorry, what were you saying, Carl?
BTT with that CRC, and the CRC is already coming, so I already have a plan in motion. Just go ahead and get more BTT.
Yeah, and take
CRC,
extra. On the collagen recovery complex, load up. Do what we call in pharmacy a loading dose, which is a week of maybe 4 or 5 capsules, and then back down to 3 capsules. That's called a loading dose, and it's a great way to make sure when you're starting a supplement program, it's a great way to make sure that you reach critical threshold, critical mass of nutrition quickly. And then you can back down to a regular dose. So you start off with a loading dose. This is true for pretty much all supplements when you start a supplement program. Start off by taking a little bit more and then back down a little bit more than your regular dose and then back down to a regular dose. That's called a loading dose. Great when you're starting a supplement program, especially collagen building. Real quick, I got about 20 seconds here. Finish up, Carl.
Great. Yeah, that's great. So that way I can avoid the weenie dentist.
All right, man. Good to talk to you, Carl. Have a good day, man. Talk again soon. Thank you. All right, folks, that's it for now. Thanks for listening to The Bright Side. And please check out our websites, brightsideben.com, pharmacistben.com, and criticalhealthnews.com for all the longevity products, and truthtreatments.com for all our Truth Skin Health products. I'm Pharmacist Ben. Thanks for listening to The Bright Side. Have yourselves a wonderful, beautiful, awesome, spectacular day, folks. We will talk to y'all later. Bye for now.